So I wrote a speech and I am going to read it, but on the way here I started thinking about other stuff I wanted to say, and Melissa wisely reminded me that Ross did not respect time limits. And I reminded myself that Ross had a love of writing things down on little pieces of lined paper and cocktail napkins, and that Dave had a love of spilling his bourbon on them, especially when there were flows of debates that his students were in. So I put some stuff down on these little pieces, and I will give my actual prepared speech. In the 51 years of Berkeley debate prior to Dave, we qualified for the national debate tournament 5 times. His first season, we made the elimination rounds. About 18 months later, we won our first national invitational here at Wake. And I think that I first grasped the enormity of this award 2 years later to the day when my first college debate mentor, Scott Dethridge of Northwestern, won it. Years after his teams redefined debate excellence. And seeing his joy and his students' pride, I felt, I'm ashamed to admit, kind of small and very jealous. And I realized that my team was still experiencing growing pains, and that coaches who win this award led their squads to maturity. And I wondered if Berkeley collectively and Dave individually would live to see the promised land. So over half a decade later, one thought just keeps running through my mind, in my apartment, in the hospital, on the plane here, and that is, we've arrived. We made it, Coach. So I also never thought I'd say this, let alone in public, but I'd like to thank the coaches of Michigan State. Their kindness, generosity, and advocacy made my surprise presence here possible, and I thank them from the bottom of my heart. I also want to thank Professors Wade and Loudon and everyone else associated with this ceremony and the Coach of the Year for allowing me to speak here, and at the risk of speaking for others at another Wake tournament, on behalf of Berkeley's extended family, thank you. From the bottom of our collective heart for bestowing this honor on our beloved teacher and friend. I once urged Ross to provide me some pro-Berkeley propaganda. And Ross said that under Dave's leadership, Berkeley became a blessed exemplar for all who would aspire to debate well and successfully. Every program, extant or dormant, can say, see, this is what is possible. No excuses. Amen, Ross. So that's what Dave has done. And this speech isn't about that what. It's about the how. Its message, like most difficult things in life, is simple. Everything I need to know I could have learned from Dave if only I were paying attention. 1, love what you do with your life or do something different. Or as he says it early and often, and frankly, constantly, you can love it or leave it. Unlike many great coaches, Dave is first, foremost, and always an argument coach. As most coaches mature, they expand their responsibilities and their agenda. Dave, by contrast, hired Greg and demoted himself to focus on what he loves: constructing arguments and teaching students. A Holocaust survivor, Dr. Viktor Frankl, wrote that love is the ultimate and highest goal to which humans can aspire. The worst thing a student can do, in Dave's mind, is not love their debating while persisting in it. However much they debate, Arnett's greatest disappointment is a student incapable of loving what they do in his house. Early in Dave's career at Cal, he abandoned his initial strategy of loudly threatening to violently murder brilliant but lazy debaters. He led by example. His work, its quality, volume, and assiduous attention to detail showed how much he cared. And the message was clear. Lack of dedication might humiliate you, but you will go down to defeat knowing that your coach will never, ever let you down if he can help it. Love like that is contagious. Students uncowed by anger feared Dave's disappointment. They began to support their teammates in turn and began to love the wondrous, ineffable beauty that is a brilliantly assembled, precisely delivered, and victorious argument. Once they began to love the activity, and that's in capital letters for the non-debaters here, it was only a matter of time before they began to love the capital C community. 2. Who dies with the most trophies still dies, so put loved ones first and everything else second. Now, there are many things about Berkeley to shock the mind of a sheltered yet dashingly handsome Jewish kid from the Chicago suburbs. A semi-regular impromptu garbage can-only drumming circle, and a homeless libertarian who initiates regular fisticuffs with homeless Marxists with the catchphrase, "Get a job, dirty hippies!" Those are 2 examples. But what most surprised me about debating at Cal was the number of people who were nice to me solely because I did it. It was like joining the Illuminati. We had at least one quiet ally on just about every squad. Overnight, I literally gained an extended family. Sarah Holbrook promptly noticed that I could not survive in the wild on my own, and she declared herself my debate mom. Our squad refers to our transcendent team above teams as West Coast Love, WCL. Anyone who enjoys our company joins our extended family. Ross was an early and fervent WCL member, and I must say that having uttered those words, I am mortally certain that he is up there somewhere composing a sarcastic counter-salvo which involves Dave's ponytail, District 6, the definition of the word team, a couple of noodles, something about the limits of geospatial thinking. Arnett's only real rule, that is, the only one not determined by federal law or university policy, is that his students must work for each other. And it is guided by the same belief that makes him the unofficial nexus of WCL. Your value, he wrote to his debaters, is more than your total wins and losses. The value of participating should be more than your personal scoreboard. The experience of working for and with your friends should be cherished. When you finish playing this game, it will be those experiences that matter. Our debate team is people-centric because Dave quietly urges us to teach each other and to teach anyone who wants to learn from us. Consequently, nearly every Berkeley debater was taught in high school by an older Golden Bear. Regardless of affiliations, though, Dave believes that we choose to join and endlessly rejoin our community with the big C, the one bigger than the one in WCL. And he believes that that fact alone obligates us to care for each other. 3, love requires respect. Dave demonstrates on a daily basis that anything worth doing is easy to do badly, hard to do well, and impossible to do perfectly.